The Associated Press reports Operation Swamp Sweep will start next week, and some local immigration attorneys anticipate a surge in calls seeking their services.
As Tan Trong reports, there are now noticeable changes even before the operation begins.
At several home improvement stores, parking lots where day laborers usually solicit work are noticeably quieter. Some members of the local Hispanic and Latino community say the planned immigration crackdowns through Operation Swamp Sweep are having a chilling effect. Homero Lopez is an immigration attorney who's been busy since the start of the second Trump administration.
What we're seeing is this more people in detention for longer periods of time, having to fight their case in much stricter rules being put in place on them.
And do you think your caseload will increase with this coming operation now?
I think the need will significantly increase, yeah.
Lopez is legal director for the Pro Bono Immigration Services and Legal Advocacy, or ISLA. He says immigration raids in the metro area have been common since President Trump took office.
Locally and throughout Louisiana, it's been more of labor-enforced locations, identifying particular employment locations and going and doing a raid on that location, not necessarily the widespread across the community that we've seen in other places.
It's unclear if Swamp Sweep will concentrate on workplaces. I reached out to Customs and Border Protection, and a spokesperson said the agency cannot comment on future or potential operations.
I can feel, I can see fear.
Brenda Murphy owns the Spanish-speaking multimedia company Jambalaya News Louisiana. She says many families are planning to stay off the street during the operation.
And it's a desperate plan because, you know, bills is continuous, it's still going. Rent, foods.
In Kenner, the police chief says there's a lot of media fear-mongering about Swamp Sweep. He welcomes such an operation and says some of the more heinous crimes in his city recently have been committed by undocumented immigrants.
We've had aggravated rapes of minors. We've had children getting molested in communities. These are illegal immigrants that are victimizing their own community.
Ahead of Swamp Sweep, attorneys like Homero Lopez say not only is it important for immigrants to know their rights, but they should also make the necessary preparations in case of arrests.
But it's always really important for people to make plans with their families, make arrangements for the worst case scenario, unfortunately, because we've seen a lot of worst case scenarios.
In New Orleans, Tan Trong, Fox 8 Local First.